The Survivor Specialist Phil and Will are back, and our preseason coverage of Survivor 47 continues on bright and early on a Saturday morning. Will rolling out of bed even earlier. It's 8:30 for me. Will, I don't know how you look so good so early after having to get up.
Part of the game, man. You gotta be ready to and I've been I've been up. I haven't gone to bed, honestly. That's the trick. You just don't sleep. You just research your over under picks all night long. So I'm here. I'm ready to be. Who won last year?
Hang on, let me pull it up right now because I have last year's stuff here. So I think you won.
Sounds right.
I think you won. I don't have the exact number here, but I'm pretty sure.
What was if
Hang
it's
on,
not exact?
okay, here it is. Here's the
we
over
get
under scoring.
I think like 12 or 13 is probably a good score for us.
Let's see. So you went 1, 2, 2 and 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Riveting podcasting here.
Yeah, 9. You had 10 last year. No, this is riveting. People need to understand how many.
10 only. That's what you should get on average. And then you did worse than that.
I'm about to find out. 4, 5, 6, 7. No, actually, I don't know. 8, 9, 10. I actually had 11. I beat you 11 to 10. So
I don't know if I trust this. It seems like
I'm looking at it. I swear
it's just counting numbers as we go.
The biggest problem there, which was making it difficult, is I stopped scoring R's once intern put together the list. So his little Excel sheet just did all the scoring for me. So all I had to type in was over or under. And me and Peridium, our stuff was not in. We did not submit through the sheet, which the sheet is going to be attached to this podcast in the description eventually. It's not there yet. Intern sending it to me. So check back later. I got to get him the right things. And I feel like we're going to change up some of our lines. We kind of wanted to talk through that live here on the podcast and go through it in that way. So there were, what did we do? We did 20 props last year. Yeah. 20 total props. I got 11. Will got 10. So clearly neither one of us was pretty much flipping a coin just like we were supposed to. And we're probably going to have to mix some of these up a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. I think we can. I mean, that's kind of what we did with Peridium last year. We kind of like had a baseline and we talked through it, and we were like, well, would you go over or under this number? We would kind of reach that perfect spot. So I'm good to do that again.
Yeah, and especially some of the numbers were way off, but then you start to wonder, was it an outlier? Like, for instance, one of the ones that was a massive miss was the amount of Survivor players mentioned, previous Survivor players. It was 5.5 is the number we set it at. It hit 6 in episode 3.
Yeah, no, and that could easily be like an outlier. Because I remember there was like a montage of people saying it, and it's like you don't get that every season. So yeah. Okay, let's kick it off, and then as we go through, we'll say, hey, like if we're both, really like that's going way over, then we'll just adjust the line. We'll move it up until maybe one of us goes under, or we just move it up a little bit and we both take a riskier pick.
Well, and I do want to point this out too, because I just added up Peridium's. This is how average we all are. He got 9. So out of the 60 picks we made, we got 30 right. So this really is a coin flip. But this is also for
that means we set lines pretty well, and that means we're more specialized than Peridium, which is, I wouldn't have thought that.
Nah, it's not surprising. I got it. I figured. But we're playing this one for a prize. Don't know exactly what we're going to do as the prize yet. If you listen to our cast assessment, which I'm sure if you're listening to this, you listen to our cast assessment, we are going to have a custom Pop Funko from Todd Herzog as one of the prizes for one of our games. We do 4 games. 2 are for patrons only. 2 are here open to everybody. This is going to be one of the ones that's open to everybody. And the other one that's going to be open to everybody is going to be the prop bet game, which we are going to be recording a podcast about that sometime next week. We haven't figured out exactly when that's going to be. So there is a prize involved with this. Will and I are going to kind of get together, and I think during the premiere we can talk about which prizes will go with each thing. Normally we've done buffs in the past. We sent them out last year. Here's the one thing I will say, okay? If you win one of these games and I shoot you an email to the email that you submitted to the sheet in this description, and I never hear back from you, That is on you. That is not on me. So make sure the email that you are using to sign up for this game is an email you're actually checking. Last season, we gave away 5 buffs because there was a tie. So we gave away 5 prizes. We only ended up giving away 4 because I never heard back from one of the people. I send the emails from the Survivor Specialist at Gmail. So keep an eye out if you're applying for this game. Don't use some burner email that you haven't looked at in 25 years. Use an email that you're actually checking, because if you win, that is how we are going to reach out to you. If you're playing in one of the Patreon games, which is Power Rankings or the fantasy game, those I can reach out to you via Patreon or email or whatever, because Patreon has it where I can message you. But when it comes to these games, and like I said, the document is not in the description yet, but check back. This is being recorded Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. It will be there sometime early Sunday. So if you're looking to play, check back again on Sunday. If you're listening to this at that point, it's probably already there and this is irrelevant. But use an email that makes sense. Okay. I just had to get.
Yeah, good to say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go through these. So the first one that we had on the docket last year was over under 6.5 votes to win for the winner of Survivor season 47. So last year we had 46, and it was Kenzie winning 5-3, one season after D won 5-3. So after 4 seasons of 7-1 victories, we now have back-to-back seasons of 5-3 victories. Do we need to move this line off of 6.5, or do you think that this is still a perfect line and it's just a matter of time before we get back to 7-1?
I think it's a pretty good line. I mean, you could move it down like to 5.5, and that covers your 6-2 and your 7-1 and your 8-0. But I mean, 8-0 and 7-1 are both still probably the likeliest outcomes on any given season. So I don't know. What are you leaning here? I mean, I probably, just for the sake of rooting for, me with my fan fiction, I try to paint a picture of a great season, and that's what I try to make happen. So, I mean, I would go under 6.5 just because that's what you want. You want a closer vote at the end. But if we're going to 5.5, you probably go over that, I would think.
But I almost feel like since it's NFL season now, right? And like we're into the heart of it, college football all over the place later today. I almost feel like moving from 6.5 to 5.5 is the equivalent of moving to 6.5 to 5.5 in an NFL or college football game. There's a little bit of a difference, but normally a football game that a team's going to win by 6 points, they were never going to win it by 5. And I feel like we haven't had a 6-2 vote in forever. And I feel like what ends up happening a lot of times with these 7-1 votes is the one vote is going from one jury member to the person that they want to see get second place. They can already figure out that the jury is going to go one way. It's going to be a landslide. So they come in and they say, okay, I'm going to vote for this person to make sure they get second. Or they just like them more. This is when Danny voted for Heidi back in season 44. He really didn't have much of a relationship with Jam Jam, so it makes sense. Then we see these 5-3 votes. And what people, I think, forget is a 5-3 vote in Survivor is equivalent of just you lost by 1 vote. Even though you lose by 2 votes, 1 vote goes the other way, and now it's tied. And now it's, okay, now we're going to the tiebreaker. So I don't feel like 6-2 is ever going to happen. So I don't think it really matters if we move the line. It's going to come down to, do you think it's going to be 7-1 or do you think it's going to be 5-3?
Yeah, it's not a key number.
It's not a key number. Exactly. So do you think it's worth moving, or should we just keep it at 5.5 and make interns' life a little bit easier?
You mean 6.5?
6.5. Do we have it at 6.5? Yeah, 6.5. Sorry, I can't think.
I don't know. I feel like we should move it to 5.5, and it gives you a little bit of, I guess what's your winning vote if you go under 5.5? The only win is 5-3.
Well, 5-2-1.
5-2-1, 4-4 plus a tie. Yeah, I think we keep it at 6.5 just because that kind of evens out the options on either side.
Yeah, I think we keep it at 6.5 as well. Okay, so I am going to take the over on this. And because I figure you're going to do your fan fiction, I'm going to say, nope, we're going to get a boring final. We've had 2 back-to-back really close ones. I think we get a snooze.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go under. I want a close vote. It's the only thing I want out of a finale. If you've listened to this channel at all, that's important. Mm-hmm. To have an exciting, fun finish. You want a close vote.
Yeah. All right, second prop. So it's staying at 6.5. Second prop, over under 1.5 votes cast against the person with the fewest votes against on the season.
Yeah, this one's tricky. Last season we had no idols get successfully played.
And we had Randon get medevac with 0 votes.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
A medevac wins you this one.
Yeah.
A medevac or an idle play where someone just throws a vote on you. A quit will get you here. I feel like we're due for a quit or a medevac. I honestly think so. So I'm gonna go under on this. I think there's just too many ways for people to get knocked off here with just getting 1 vote or less.
What's interesting about this too, just looking at last season, Liz also had 0 votes against her, and then Kenzie had 1. So there were actually 3 people on this season who ended up under this number, and 2 of them were in the finale.
Don't you have to be eliminated?
No. Do they? No, I think we just have it over under 1.5 votes cast against the person with the fewest votes against on the season.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm also going to go under on this one. I think
that's this to half then after we've now seen it play out.
I think we keep it at 1.5 and see what happens, because the season before, on season 45, I'm pretty sure, I think D actually might have ended up with, let me see. D, Austin had 0. Austin was the only one who had 0, but everybody else had 2. Well, Hannah quit. Oh man. So this is, do we set it to a half?
I think we go half. I think basically it's like, are you thinking that will there be a player that goes through the whole game without getting a single vote against them?
And idle negated votes don't count for this. Like that would still be 0. Like Kelly Wentworth does not count. They do not count for this.
They do not count.
Yeah.
That's why Jeff says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we set it to half. Make it a little trickier.
Are you still going to say under?
I'm going to go under still.
I am too, but who do you think's going to quit? Now that we have the cast out and you're sitting here, we're due for a medevac or a quit. Who's out? You said Soda and Butterflies last year.
I don't know if anyone jumped out to me as a quitter. I mean, they all seem so excited to be out there and play.
Who's going to Matthew themselves then and climb the wrong rock?
All of them. All of them be climbing up every tree, every rock. They're just so pumped to be out there. Who's gonna just, I don't know.
This is the time of year where we don't know the cast well enough to even throw out a name yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to even remember the names of the cast. So
we getting a John Lovett medevac, Will?
I doubt it. I mean, that could happen though. I feel like that does happen. That could happen.
I don't know. You know what? I think that whoever
I'm not seeing a quitter in this bunch.
I think our final 3, somebody's just gonna have no votes against.
Yeah. I'm gonna go under here.
Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with it too.
Gabe is gonna get medevac. He's gonna climb the tree.
I mean, because then you have to think in the season before. So we've had a 0 vote getter because then Bruce got 0 because he got medevac. And then in season 43, Gabler had 0 votes against. He was 1 vote away from playing a perfect game. And then in season 42, at least by that fake definition, Jackson had 0 votes. And then in season 41, let me see what season 41 was. In season 41, everybody had at least 2 votes. But since season 42, there has been at least 1 player who has left this game with 0 votes. So I don't know. That's a long stretch. Maybe the law of averages is here to level out.
To normalize a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going under.
I'm still going to stay under too.
Okay.
All right. This next one. So this is over under 5.5 votes lost throughout the season. Shot in the dark and sacrificed votes don't count. So shot in the dark, if you play your shot in the dark and that vote you didn't lose that vote. You chose not to, you elected not to do that. So this actually went under last season. We had it set at 5.5. It went under. I think there were only maybe 3 lost votes. Has Survivor moved past the era of lost votes?
It seems like they really dialed this back because I remember, I think I went over because
we all did.
In season 45, it was like they were doing this in the post-merge more, where they're like, okay, because the journeys always happen in pre-merge. You're going to lose some votes I thought they were on a trend of like, we need more votes lost post-merge, but they didn't do it at all post-merge, I don't think, in 46.
I don't think
I
they
think
did either.
we can dial this number down maybe to 4.5. And then I would say I'll still, I think last season is an outlier I feel like, I don't know why they kind of got away from it. I feel like Jeff is going to be ready to take some votes, and he might have some new creative ways to do it.
Yeah, so I agree. I think we should drop this to 4.5. But my worry with dropping this to 4.5 on this season is I think that any opportunity these players are going to get to lose their vote, they're going to take that opportunity because they're all such big Survivor fans. And like you said, they're all so excited to be there that they're not going to be worried about, I'm going to lose my vote. I feel like
I don't know,
most of
like
them are going to take the
there's like
chance.
at least 2 people out of the 18 that said like, I do not want to go on a journey. If I'm on a journey, I won't play the game. I don't want to lose my vote. I don't need an idol. Idols are overrated. There's kind of this sentiment that like, I just want to play a normal game of Survivor and have my vote from this cast.
Maybe I should take you know what? I'm going to take the under then. I'll take the under even at 4.5. And this way we can have a bunch of lost votes and people can complain. Are you going to take over?
I'm going to take over. I think Jeff is going to look at these. I don't know what happened, but they just might be like, "Hey, we didn't mess with their votes enough. It's always like a teeter-totter with Jeff. It's like, we did it this way. Let's do it this way. Probably overdo it. Oh, let's dial that back. Oh, we dialed that back too far. Let's,
Yeah. Yeah. I also wanted to point out last year, if you're playing along for the first time here and you want to know what the winning score was last season, the winning score last season was 14.
That's a good score.
14 points for the winner, and second place was there was a couple 13, there were a couple 12, so 14 right now is the money maker.
14-6. That's a good record.
That's a good record, especially when it's coin flips, as we talked about here. Next one. So just to recap real quick, over under 6.5 votes to winner, over under 0.5 votes cast against the person with the fewest votes against on the season. Idols votes don't count. Over under 4.5 votes lost throughout the season. The next one is over under 4.5 rewards at the sanctuary. So last season, we set it at 4.5. 3 rewards ended up being at the sanctuary. That was it. Will, this was one you hit and Peridium and I both missed. With only 3 happening last season, is this one that we should consider changing?
Yeah, we could maybe bump it down. But I mean, the season before, it felt like 45. Didn't they go like 5 times?
They went a lot. Let me see what the exact number was, because it was a lot. I mean, my biggest thing with the sanctuary is Jeff seems like, as much as he hates to admit it, I do feel like he listens a lot to us. Like, even on the stuff that's changing, he doesn't necessarily say, "Oh, this is because of the fans." But people really rip the sanctuary. In season 45, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was 5 times during season 45. It was 4 times during season 44. So it was going up. It was once during 41 and 42. It was 3 times during 43, 4 during 44, 5 during 45, and then it went back down to 3. So I do think we need to drop this to 3.5, because the only season that it's gone over 4.5 was season 45. And I don't think we get back to that level again if they dropped it by 2 last season.
I'm good with that.
So we'll drop that one to 3.5. Now, which side are you going to take on that?
I think I'm going to go under, which is weird. It's weird that 45 did so many. My theory might be wrong. I was trying to use some production logic, just because the odd season you have more time to prepare for, basically, because it's the first one you shoot, and so they're out there earlier. And if they want to plan, like, to go to a hotel or resort or a village or a helicopter ride or something, they just have more time to make those things happen and plan. But then that's my theory. And then 45 is the odd season. They shot that first, and they had like 5 trips to the sanctuary, and then 46 only had 3. So maybe that's not a good theory. But I still think if Jeff's sentiment is to get away from the sanctuary and do other things, that the odd season still allows him to like achieve that goal easier. So I will go under 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under as well. I think that Survivor, I think that a lot of what they were doing, it was like, okay, this is simple, this is easy. We've done it too much. We've gotten bored with it. The fans are definitely gonna get bored with it. So even though we have it set at 3.5, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I think 3 is probably the sweet spot.
I agree. I do
I
agree.
mean, we could drop it to 2.5, but then I feel like we both go over.
Yeah. I
So
feel like we're at that point of I was gonna take the hook, right? They're -2.5. I'm gonna take the team that's favored. They're +3.5. I'm gonna
by the
take the
half
team that's
point.
underdog. Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one. Over under 6.5 hidden immunity idols found. So this one is very interesting. This one went under last season. There were 5 hidden immunity idols found. As we all know, none were played correctly. So we had 5 hidden immunity idols found. So I know we have to drop this number, but here's my question. Production knows how these players want to play the game. They've talked to them enough through casting and all of that, pregame press, whatever. I mean, I know they're not there for the pregame press, but they're hearing what these players are saying. These players are saying that they're going to try to avoid immunity idols. Does that make production want to hide them more and make it more frequent for these people? Like, do you think that we're going to see more idols able to be found on this season than there were last season, just to put the players in that dilemma, considering they're all so confident and saying, "No, we're not going to do this."
I don't know if it's enough players. I think there's that sentiment of at least 2, maybe 3, and I don't know if that's gonna affect your production plans completely. I mean, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because last season we had so many people go home with idols and rehidden. We still didn't go over, which is weird. And I think that's because, I mean, usually you get 3 people pre-merge right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. I thought we got 3 people. Did we not get 3
We
people?
did. Hunter, Tiffany, and Jem all found them.
That's the thing. And then they held on to them, and
Well, Gems never came back because Gem went right before the merge. So then
right.
at merge, one was hidden, but
Yeah, I think
Gems
we
never
have to
came back.
drop this to 5.5.
You wouldn't go all the way down to 4.5?
I mean, it's just because no one played their pre-merge idols. We had 3 people find it, and then Hunter and Tiff held onto it to the merge, and then we had Venus. Did Q have one?
Q got one. He didn't play it. Remember?
Didn't play. Yeah. I mean, we're hovering. It's right around there. You think 4? I feel like if we 4.5 is an easy over, and 5.5, you at least have a choice.
All right, let's do 5.5 then.
Yeah, and if you want to go, I'll go over 5.5. I think idols are gonna come back in a major way. And are we counting all idols? Like, even if it's like this idol is only good for 2 votes?
Yeah, even if it's only good for 1 vote, 2 votes, whatever, it counts. That was actually something I wanted to mention on the last one, Will. Oh wait, no, we haven't gotten there yet. There's a couple things coming up where people were like, "Well, does this count? What happens with this? What happens to that?" But we'll get
No,
there
we
when
have
we
to
get there.
specify. That's you got to be, we're like a
Yeah,
sports book here.
I know.
Overtime counts.
So good, perfect. Over under 5.5. I'm also going to go over. I know that's boring. Now we've agreed on 3 of the 5, but
geez, copycat.
that's what happens when you keep going first. I'm agreeable. You're disagreeable. That's the thing. That's what makes this enjoyable. Okay. So next up, we're doing over under 2.5 people play their shot in the dark. So here's the numbers that we have up to this point. Season 41 was 1, 42 was 4, 43 was 1, 44 was 2, 45 was 2, 46 was 1. I think we have to drop this number to 1.5. Because
Really?
only season 42 had more than 1 or 2. Like, only season 42 went up all the way to 4. So to set this at 2.5, so far only 1 season from the first 6 that have had this twist have actually gone over 2.5.
1.5. Sorry, 1.5 does seem right. Is more than one person going to do it? It seems like we get at least 1 every season. Will 2 people do it?
Exactly. And the fact that season 46, it was only Mo who played hers last season. Nobody else played it. And that was also because nobody else was even playing idols. It was the safest bunch of group of Survivor players in the history of the show. I'm going to go under on this.
I'll go over.
There you go. Good job, Will. I'm going to go under. And my reasoning is I actually think the shot in the dark at this point, I think people value their vote more than anything. And I feel like most players defensively have figured out how to play the shot in the dark. and have figured out to say, we can't tell this person that they're definitely going home because they're going to play the shot in the dark. Let's just eliminate that and we'll act like we're getting in good with them. You give somebody a story that's believable enough, and they're going to say, okay, fine, I won't play my shot in the dark. I feel like I'm going to make it through this one. And that's what you need. And I think last season, especially season 46, especially since nobody's playing idols, might have been the best ever to convince people that they had a chance of staying.
Yeah. I don't know. I think season 47, I'm trying to think, because 46, they hadn't seen 45 yet. They hadn't seen Caleb. So this is the first group of players that have seen Caleb play it successfully. And I think that might influence people like, hey, it can happen. It's badass when it happens. I want that to be me. Let me give it a run. And we have so many people that just want to be there so badly. You could get that. Who was it in 44? Jenny?
Jamie.
Yeah. She's just like, I'm playing this at the first tribal council.
And she was safe and negated 0 votes.
Yeah, no. But you might get one of those because we have this like really excited group. So yeah, I'll go over. I'll go over 1.5.
Yeah, I'll go under. I think that's one that could definitely go either way, just like this next one. Over under 4.5 votes negated by idols. So obviously last season had 0 votes negated by idols because nobody played their damn idols. But there were 5 idols in play, and the players who had those all were in danger because none of them made it to the final 3. So they all just didn't play them right. And one idol play would have been close to getting this. Okay. So my question is, do you think that we change this off of 4.5, or do we just chalk that was a game where Patrick Mahomes just didn't have it? I had to say that because Nicholas Snyder's here with his Let's Go Gabe Ravens flock.
I thought he meant Ravens football lock, but that's not a lock because they lost.
Don't do this to poor Nick, man. He's he's one of our patrons, and he's dedicated to the cause that the refs wear Chiefs uniforms. But
I mean, what, 3 Super Bowls and no holding penalties?
Yeah,
in all 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but who did they play last year? I don't even remember.
They were called for the most holding penalties during the season, and then they didn't get 1 holding penalty in the playoffs or something crazy.
Nick wants this over under 5'6" barefoot standing height of the winner. He's the one who had asked that question of does height matter at Final Tribal?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nicholas is all about the height. I mean, we do have the age of the winner, I believe.
We do have the age of the winner, yes. Which I actually didn't calculate based off this cast, so I need to figure that out. But anyway, are we moving this?
I don't think we need to move it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if one person plays their idol successfully, pretty much that goes over.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe 2, but I feel like 2 people more often than not. I mean, the thing is, last year was 0, but in season 44 we had 12. In season 45 we had 7. 41 and 42 we also had 0. 43 we had 3. So like if you average this out, it's still around 4.5.
I think it's a good number. I think it's a good number. I'll go over. I think people are playing their idols.
So am I. And I'm not arguing the other side.
Should I go under just to make it more fun?
No, because we have our fun anyway. We don't need it.
Okay.
Okay. How many people? So now,
if you do play a pre-merge idol, you're not negating 5 votes.
Yeah, because you're only negating 5 is the most. But 5 is the most you can negate.
If people lose their votes, you're negating like 3 or 4 votes.
Yeah.
Pre-merge.
Yeah.
So basically you need you need a pre-merge and post-merge idol, or you need a big post-merge idol to get that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's what I wanted to add. It was something I wanted to add. For over under 4.5 votes lost throughout the season, this was a big argument that people had last season with us, and we didn't really specify this. You get a beware advantage. Your name is Will. You get a beware advantage. You find the idol before you go to tribal council. Did you lose your vote?
No, we talked about this.
Okay, I'm just making sure because we didn't establish that right off the bat with Peridium, and then we started talking about that on the podcast. So I want to make sure people understand that. If you get a beware advantage And it says you lose your vote if you don't find this idol, but you don't go to a tribal council where you actually don't have a vote. You have to go to tribal council and not be able to cast a vote. That is losing a vote. We're not counting it as, oh, I lost my vote for 7 minutes on the beach and then I went and found the idol.
Yeah. You gotta go to the voting booth, and there's the note that says you do not have a vote. Please return to your seat. That's losing a vote.
Yes. Okay.
Anything else would feel, I don't know, lame.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we all had that on the same page. 3, 4. Okay. Next up. Over under 5.5 different players to win individual immunity. And the streak, so this is where this has been the entire new era. Season 41, 5. Season 42, 6. Season 43, 5. Season 44, 6. Season 45, 5. Season 46, ruined the streak. It's 5. But it didn't go up to 6. It was fun that it was alternating between 5 and 6. Kenzie, Maria, Hunter, Charlie, and Ben won immunity challenges last season. But now we have Rome on this season. And he said he's going to win 4.
He's going to win 4 of them. But they're merged at 13. So there's still enough spots.
There were 9 last season. So if he wins 4,
someone
a
else
different person would have to win every other one.
Yeah, it's still possible, though. And that's assuming Rome wins 4.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, I think we have our numbers set just perfectly. We're not gonna move it. Do we have? I think I'm leaning over just because we have such. I don't know if we have anyone that athletic or like that much of a challenge piece. It seems like this is like a pretty like mishmash of people that like anyone could do anything, especially with the challenges too.
The challenges in the new era have been a mishmash that anybody could do anything to.
Yeah, we have a mishmash cast with some mishmash challenges. We're not honing in on a particular skill or a particular body type. So I think the randomness prevails, and I will go over.
I'm going under. I believe in Rome. Believe in yourself. Believe in Rome.
I still believe in Rome.
Nope. He's winning 5. He's tying the record.
If he's winning 4, and then I get a different winner for each other one, then we get. And then they do, when they split up, like there's 2 chances to win. So that helps. So it's probably closer to 10. I know you said 9 challenges, but there's probably 10 necklaces available.
Last season when they split up, where was it? Hang on. I got it right here. Last season when they split up, there was only 1 immunity winner. When did they split up? Did they even split up last season?
Maybe
they didn't split last season.
Well, thank God.
I know. Oh no, they did. They did. I'm sorry. They did. But Kenzie and Maria both won.
Yeah, no,
that was so that 9 was with Kenzie and Maria both winning.
Gotcha.
So at the split. But yeah, I think we keep it there. I'm gonna go under, and I'm just gonna say go Rome. All right. I'm sure there's other people on this season who can win challenges too. I'm just saying. Over under 0.5 quits or medevacs. I thought I had this. You and Purdium both picked over last year. And I thought I had this on lock because normally in the preseason, Jeff will be like, hardest season ever, pain, suffering. We literally watched Matthew fall off the rock in the preview at the 43 finale. So we knew for months that Matthew was going to be injured. And then he ends up getting medevaced off of that. Are we going to make it 41? We didn't have anybody get medevaced or quit. 42, Jackson. 43, we had, do we have anybody quit or get medevaced in 43?
Don't think so.
No. 44, we had Bruce. 45, we had Hannah.
We had Matthew in 44 also.
Yep. And then in 46, we had Randon. So 4 of the 6 seasons we've had one. I'm going under. This is a pure season of Survivor. Although Will, even though we've had one in 4 of 6 seasons, earlier in this podcast says, I think we're due for a medevac or a quit. How due can we be when it's happened 4 to 6 times?
Because we did have one last season where I think we're gonna get a quitter. I don't know.
You love quits. And you just won't say who it is. Ruin this person's day if they made it 34 minutes into our over-under game.
Who's going to quit? Sierra is gonna quit.
I mean, she felt. I mean, she could get medevac. She said when she was practicing for Survivor, she shared a video on X yesterday where she was trying to balance on one foot, fell, hit her head, and actually concussed herself. So
there you go. She might. That's true. It's not just a quit. It's a medevac or a quit.
yeah.
Is this too similar of a prop for the 0.5 votes? I guess it's not because
No, because you can win. Gabler had 0 votes. Austin got second and had 0 votes.
yeah, and you can get some votes and then get medevac.
Exactly. Yeah, we just happen to have people get medevac.
It usually happens early for whatever reason.
Yeah. Weak. All right. So I'm wondering if you think we should keep this next one. This is over under 3.5 journeys. Are they bringing the journeys back in a bigger way this season? Has Jeff, I know we're getting rid of Sweat and Savvy. We only had 2 journeys last season.
Yes. Yeah.
And we had Nick in this one, and I'm just throwing this up. He said late to the stream, so I made him miss it. If there's an over-under for unplayed idols or advantages, we don't have something like that. So maybe that, do you think that would be more interesting?
I still think journeys are a part of the show. I think the unplayed idols advantages could be tricky to calculate.
Okay.
I don't know. Depends
Well,
what
I think
they
it would just
are.
get voted out without playing it, or you don't use it and it expires.
And that would be extra votes, idols. Yeah, I feel like it could be good. It's just that 46 had so many. I think that we're like top of mind with that, but it might not be something that even happens that often.
Yeah.
Like what would you set that number at? Like
2.5.
I'd say
1.5, 2.5.
Yeah.
If it's 2.5, I'd probably take the under. If it's 1.5, I'd probably take the over.
Let's keep what we got, but if we see one that comes up later, that can be one we swap out for.
Okay. All right. So what do you think on this one then? Over under 3.5 journeys. I think if we keep this, we have to drop it to 2.5 because last season they dropped to 2. And I feel the same way with journeys. I feel about the sanctuary. Yes, you're right. They're probably still a part of the show, but it seems like they're being weaned out a little bit.
Well, if they're not doing Sweat and Savvy, I imagine there has to be some game or something in the premiere that Jeff wants to do. He's not.
I think he talked about it, but I didn't read that article.
He's not going to just let them go to their tribe camps and hang out and play Survivor.
Well, I have to do a schoolyard pick'em first. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. No more info on that, right?
No.
I mean, as much as I'd love it and as much evidence that we're kind of picking up on, it looks like they're just all on the boat, split up into tribes.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah. I'll go over 2.5 for the sanctuary. Or wait, no, not the sanctuary.
Not the sanctuary.
The journeys. Sorry, I'm conflating my new eras.
I'm gonna do under. I think journeys are on their way out. I think that. So what's fun is as we watch these old seasons for Every Season Matters and everything, I'm a little bit ahead of where we actually are with the podcast, but Panama with Exile Island, right? Like that's the big story, Exile Island. Then they bring Exile Island back for season 13. And there's episodes where somebody goes to Exile Island and they never even show that person at Exile Island. And I think that what I'm trying to say with that is Survivor starts to get tired of its stuff. And a lot of the new era stuff it's overstayed its welcome. And I think journeys have overstayed their welcome. And I think that we're going to start to see a different iteration of journeys eventually, like moving forward now. And it's not going to be journeys. You're not going to have 3 people going off to someplace anymore.
All right. But if it's a journey, I mean, I guess that's going to be
we'll argue about it when the time comes.
Yeah. If it's going somewhere new, then are we counting it as a journey?
Man, you're making me take unders. You're the public right now. You're just hammering overs. Colorado, Nebraska for Jack Wolf. Now that college football is back, can we please get Phil and Will show back for NFL and college picks? For Jack Wolf, over under in Nebraska, Colorado.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I'd go over. Colorado has no defense.
Making sure we're all on the same page.
I like Michigan plus 7.5. If you can get 7.5.
See, I'm on the opposite of that. Oh man. All right, Phil and Will show. There's your tease. Let's move on to this next one. So this was one
over. If you tease Michigan, you're gonna. I mean, Michigan's at home. Texas, I don't think they're as good as everybody says.
Michigan's
it's at
defense is
7 right now.
stinky,
If you can get
stinky.
7.5, I would hop on it.
Michigan's offense is stinky.
Yeah, after one game where they didn't want to open up the playbook and let Texas know what they're doing.
Stinky.
Just saying, everyone, don't be surprised when Michigan covers that easily and maybe wins.
What are your 3 favorite college football teams?
My college football teams?
Yeah, your 3 favorite?
Miami, Stanford, and Bowling Green.
No, and Michigan, guys. It's so just keep that in mind as you're hearing this. Anyway, back to this. Next one we had was over under 5.5 endurance challenges. So you kind of said that this went under anyway. And when we talked about endurance challenges with Peridium, you said, no, this is like endurance challenges really are defined by yada, yada, yada. How do you feel about how this worked out last season? Is this one that's worth keeping? Do we need to lower this number? I don't have the exact number of what it was. It was just under.
We don't know the number that it was?
I don't have the exact number. I mean, I could probably figure it out if I read the immunity challenges from last season, but I did not. I just know it was so far under. Like I had 2 marked when there was less than 3 challenges left. Because like Ben's challenge last season that he won at Final Immunity is not a endurance challenge.
No, that's a race.
That's a race.
You either have an endurance challenge or a race. Those are the only 2 options. Either you're lasting the longest to do something or you complete something first. There's no really in between.
We had one where they're holding the bucket weight over their head.
Okay.
And then we did have the perch thing, but that was the end of an immunity challenge. So that was 2. It wasn't the full challenge, but it was part of it.
Yeah, I'd count that though.
They had the castaways with the footholds, so that was 3, like the thing that Ozzy used to do.
Mm-hmm.
They balanced on the A-frames, so that was 4. And that was it. So there were 4.
4. Okay, so this number isn't that far off.
Mm-mm.
And what do we have it set at?
5.5.
5.5, and I mean we could drop it to 4.5.
Okay.
And I'll go over.
And I'll take the under. Look at that. We're just hammering this. Yeah. I just think endurance challenges. Jeff loves races. Jeff loves puzzles.
Jeff does love puzzles. I think there's just so many great, like they just pull like which one haven't we done in a while, and there's so many different versions of endurance challenges that like we might see. Who knows? You know,
they've pulled out classics in the new era. They had the hold your breath one. They had the foothold one. Like I said, they did the A-frames, and still, I don't think we've hit this over in a while. So we'll go drop it down to 4.5. I'm still going to take the under. I think it's going to end at 4.
Okay, I'll go over.
Okay, perfect. Over under half of a tribe swap. Will there be a tribe swap this season? You and Peridium were both hopeful last year and said yes. I said no.
And we didn't get one, right?
We did not.
So I'll go over again.
I'm actually going to agree with you on this one. I think if we're not going to get the schoolyard pick, I think we're going to get a tribe swap. And maybe that's why they're not wearing as obvious of colors. Maybe it's because there's a swap really early and the coloring doesn't really matter as much.
But I think their press photo wardrobe is different than their gameplay wardrobe.
Yeah.
It is weird. It is weird, though.
I'm never going to get over it. I want to know the mystery here.
It's not only the colors. It's like all these weird pairings.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 flight people.
Yeah.
Like so specific. You have a flight instructor, and then you have like someone who's taking flight school that wants to be a pilot on the same tribe.
Yeah.
Weird.
Very weird. Okay. So we're both going to say yes, there will be a tribe swap this season. Next up, over under 4.5 players with 60 confessionals or more. In 45, 6 players had it. Last season, it was 1, 2, only 3. So I think the number is good. I think 4.5. I mean, that's the average of 3 plus 6, right? So I feel like that's a good number. Last season was crazy, though, because you had Q, Charlie, and Kenzie all hit it, and nobody else even hit 50.
So what's our number of confessionals? Sorry.
60.
60.
And in season 45, 6 people had that many confessionals.
I think we're going to spread the love this season. I'm going to go under.
And I'm going to go over because I love my confessionals. And I feel like last season was an outlier where Q was just such a massive personality, and Kenzie had her back against the wall. If Banu makes it one more episode, he might have hit 60. Banu last season had 35 confessionals, which was more than Hunter, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is weird because you need the show to focus on a specific group. But if you spread it out too much, no one hits it.
It's
so.
4.5 confessionals per episode.
Yeah, I'll go under. I need an under in here, and I think you might get. What do we have it at? 5.5? I think you get 4 or 5 players.
No, I have it at 4.5.
4.5? Yeah. I'll still go under. It's fine.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's fine. Next one. Over under 3.5 members from a single tribe to miss the merge. In 41, 4 from Ua missed. In 42, 3 from Vati missed. 43, 2 each. 44, 3 from Tika. And 45, 4 Lulu. Last season, we had 3 Yanu, which is crazy, right? It's so wild that only 3 Yanu didn't make it. And it's actually, if you count whatever the merge is, I guess Tim technically made the merge, but then they split into 2, which makes no sense. But Jem and Mariah, there were actually 2 there who didn't make it too. And had Randon not been medevac, Yanu probably goes over this 3.5 number. So what do you think? Do we have to move this or we keep it?
I think no, this is a perfect number. It's basically 4 people from one tribe not make the merge. Mm-hmm. When we see these decimated tribes, yeah, it can happen. I think a tribe swap, does that increase or decrease the likelihood of it?
Okay, so here's what we have to make sure everybody understands that too, is if there's a tribe swap, whatever your original starting tribe was.
Right. Yeah, no, this is pretty clear.
Yeah. I just want to make sure people know.
6-person starting tribe are 4 people going to miss the merge from any of those tribes, from one tribe.
And the merge starts when Jeff says the merge starts, even if he merges and then demerges them.
Right.
You want me to go first? You can take
I will go over. I will go over.
Okay. I'm going to go under. I think that we're going to have a pretty even. I was trying to figure out, I even put this out on Twitter. I was like, who do you guys think is the tribe, like the Yanu tribe from last season? And it's hard to see on this season. I feel like the blue tribe probably loses a little bit more than the others, but Yanu was an unbelievable disaster, and they only lost 3. And they might have been more of a disaster than Lulu. And they only lost 3. So,
well, they got saved.
They did get saved, but I'm just saying, like, they
lost 4. They didn't lose 3. They lost 4.
They lost 3 members. They lost 4 challenges, but they lost 3 members. But what I'm saying is there's ways to save yourself. There's ways to even get out of it.
Yeah.
There's ways to get out of it when you're as much of a disaster as Yanu was.
I just feel like we're gonna swap because we didn't swap last season. And if a tribe loses like 3 out of 4, which I do think is likely to happen on any 3 tribe start, just because once you start losing people, it's kind of like exponential. Like you get exponentially worse. Even if you think you got rid of somebody, the other tribes are able to get rewards. They're able to swap out a member for whatever the challenge is, and you're kind of running on fumes, especially when it's like if you're trying to avoid last place. And so it's like, even if you're not that good of a tribe, like one of the other tribes, all they have to do is get second, and I don't know, but they can just start wearing you down, especially with all the supplies and like you don't have food. It just, they make it really hard for that tribe that loses. So I feel like we're likely going to get a disaster tribe, and then if I'm thinking there's a swap, all it takes is one of those people to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm still gonna go under. I'm gonna hope for that these tribes are equal somehow.
That's hopeful. That's hopeful. That's good,
because it hasn't been that case. It's only been that case once in this new era. All right, hang on. I'm adding up the numbers real quick. I'm dividing by 18. Okay. Here we go. Next one. Over under the age of the winner. We are going to set this one at 31.5.
I feel like there are a lot of 31-year-olds.
Wait, let me see. Maybe it should be 30.5. We have 1, 2, 3.
No, I think that would push it over. No, Asia's 32.
Oh, actually, we are going to do 30.5. We are going to do 30.5 because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 players who are 31 or older. Sue is driving the average up by being 59. So 31.5 is the average, but to get it as in the middle as you can. Really, we could keep this at 29.5, get the 130-year-old in there, and then it's split down the middle.
Let's do that. We should
All
split
right,
it
so
down
we're
the
keeping it
middle.
at 29.5. Will the winner be over 29.5? Over under?
I gotta see how old TK is. Oh, he's 31. Okay, so I gotta go over because TK is winning.
You got to go over. Yeah, I will say I'm going to go over as well because I don't see a lot of winning potential from the people under. I think Sam could win. I think Teeny could win. I actually have Tiana as my winner pick from the other thing, from when we did the cast assessment. But I feel like TK, Solomon, Kyle, we even talked about, Blake's favorite, Rachel, Asia, Andy. Those are the people that I think have a better chance of winning. So even though I think that Tiana was my favorite right from the start, after getting to know these people just from reading an article and listening to their voices for 2 seconds, I'm not going to put all my eggs in the Tiana basket. So I'm actually going to go over on this age as well. The ancient age of 30 is the magic number now.
There we go.
And we're beyond it, Will.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 5.5 reward challenges. Doesn't include combo immunity reward challenges. So it has to be a specific reward challenge. Last season, season 46, we had exactly, let me see. We had 1, 2. We had 3, 4. We had 4. So I set this at 5.5 last season, but we had 5 in season 41, 5 in season 42, 4 in season 43, 4 in season 44, 5 in season 45 that included the auction, and then 4 in season 46. So, I mean, should this be 4? This has to be 4.5.
Yeah, it seems like that splits it pretty evenly.
Mm-hmm.
I will go over. I heard we have the auction back, so that's the only intel I can grab here. But who knows? This is a tough one.
I'll go under, even though we just moved it down to 4.5. Pretty much just to take the opposite
4
of you.
or 5, it seems like, and
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like with 90-minute episodes, there should be more reward challenges, but maybe there aren't.
Yeah.
I'll go over. Yeah,
there's a lot of combo immunity reward challenges, but there weren't a lot of reward challenges just on their own.
Yeah, I gotta think now that they're really settling into 90 minutes that they're gonna do some more reward challenges. That's my thinking.
That's a good point. I like that. I mean, that's good reasoning, but I'm gonna stick with it's still only 26 days.
True. That's true too.
All right, this next one was
we finally got 90-minute episodes, and it's when we only have 26 days.
Yeah. This next one's the Will special, and Will got it wrong. Over under Jeff wears a black shirt 7.5 times. And he hit like 11 or 12 last season. And you and Prettium both went under, and I went over. But it felt like every episode he was switching between blue and black.
I feel like he did not hit it that many times.
He definitely went over. It was definitely at least 9, because I have 9 written here, and then I stopped counting.
I was counting, and I feel like it was like only 4 once we were heading into the merge. And I know we merged super early in New Era seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was like once an episode of the first 5, but he missed one episode. One episode he didn't. Mm-hmm. I don't think it got to 11 or 12. Whoever was counting for you was probably counting navy blue.
I think you were counting for me. I think you hit 9 and then I stopped.
No, I did not. No, I think
Do we keep this one, or is this one too much of a pain in the ass?
I don't think it's that much of a pain in the ass. You can clearly tell between black and navy. It's very, very obvious. I don't think you got to 12. That I'm throwing my red challenge.
Well, I said I stopped marking it once it hit 9, because that's
once it went over. You were like, I'm done.
So maybe it stopped. I don't know.
I mean, we can raise it up, put it at 7.5.
It's at 7.5.
Okay. Should we put it at 8.5?
I think we should.
Seems like a lot of black shirts.
I'm gonna go 8.5, and I'm gonna take the under. Yay, me!
I'm gonna go over.
I knew you would take the opposite
because there was like 12 last year.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, and then we have 3 left here. Over under 9.5 players get a backstory montage. Last season was an easy over. Banu, Jess, Hunter, Charlie, Tiffany, Soda, Q, Venus, Ben. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 9. And then I stopped counting. Maria had one in
Yeah,
there.
they really leaned because they like went away for it, but I feel like 45 didn't have as many.
Yeah. And then last
So
season, it was like every single
it's
castaway.
weird. These trends, it's kind of what you were saying, how like Survivor does something and then they get kind of tired of it, but then they'll go right back to it.
Mm-hmm.
What's our number at?
Our number is at 9.5. I think it's a good number. That's half the
It is
cast.
a
Like,
good number. I'll go over.
I'm actually going to go over too. I feel like half the cast is the right number to keep this at, but
I mean, maybe they revert. I don't know. They did that season. I don't know. They bounce back. They just decide what they're gonna do. I'll be like, they might do 0. Like they might just say, we're not doing this year.
Yeah. Yeah. They could. I mean, I would not be opposed. I don't need to see. Either. I don't need to see the backstories every time. All right, last two. This was my favorite, and Austin Garso has it in here. Over under number of live tribals. Maybe set it for 2.5 or 3.5. We have something similar, and that's why I've been waiting. Over under 15.5 butts off seats at Tribal Council before Jeff says it's time to vote.
Yeah, that's how because we did want to do tribals, but it was too subjective. Like as someone whispers, like how do you really quantify it? So we quantified it by if your butt leaves your seat. Obviously not to go vote.
This happened twice last season.
But this went over, right?
No, it went under. The number was set way too high, but you and Prettium were making fun of me with like the number being like, no way it gets to 15.5, whatever. And then there were like 2 tribals where it happened and we got into double digits and then it just never happened again. Really what you need is you need this to happen at the merge Tribal Council.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we had 2 live tribals, right? Where almost everybody got up.
Yeah.
And we still didn't hit it. That seems weird.
Well, it's because the one was like the Banu episode where it was only 5 of them or 4 of them or something like that.
So and then we had one in the merge.
Yeah.
And that what, like 10 of them? 9 of them?
Yeah. So even if it wasn't, I don't think it was all 10, but even if it was 10, it's like, okay, so you're at 15.
Okay. So what do we want to set this to? Like 12.5?
I think we go 12. I think 12.5 is the right number. Yeah. Look at you being a bookie. I think we go 12.5 and I'm going to take the over again. This is my baby.
I'll go under just to disagree with you. And maybe we'll get one live tribal, but it happens at like final 9 or something.
Mm-hmm. I think we have so many chaotic players. I could just see it. Last one.
Yeah, they are very excited this season. It's just more about when I do think we'll get a live tribal. It's just about when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Last one, over under 5.5 past players mentioned. Now this hit in like the 2nd or 3rd episode. They just like Denise, Malcolm, blah blah, Rupert, Boston Rob, Parvati. They were just naming players like crazy. Do we have to move this number up, or was that just a weird situation last season?
Felt like it was over the top weird. I felt like an outlier.
Yeah, I agree.
And we set it at 5.5, right?
Yeah.
That's still like you can drop 5 players and it still goes under. So that feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Cool. I'm gonna go over.
I'll go under.
Yes.
I think that was an outlier. That's all I'm saying. I think we might get a couple call outs, but I mean, unless Survivor's just really into it.
Yeah.
It could be. This season will dictate whether it's a trend or not.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just sent it to intern. He'll get that up. So everybody who's listening, there's also 3 tiebreaker questions because we're not going to give away multiple and this could easily end in a tie. Tiebreaker questions are how many players will get a backstory montage, how many hidden immunity idols will be found, and then the last one was how many confessionals will the winner of the season have? So how many players will get a backstory montage? Will, you want to take a stab?
Me?
Yeah, we both said over. I'm going to say 10.
I'll go 11.
Okay, we still have to do our things. How many hidden immunity idols will be found?
5.
You said over 5.5. You can't say 5.
I'm hedging.
You're hedging? Okay, so on the tiebreaker, Will's hedging. All right, I'm going to say 6 because I know what over means. And then how many confessionals will the winner of the season have? Last season, Kenzie had 75, I think.
I was going to just say 73, so I'll just 73. Just came to me.
Okay. I'm going to say 88.
K-Lab 73.
I'm going to say 88. All right. So thank you all so much for listening to this. Remember, get in there, participate in this game. The link will be in the description to the YouTube video. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or something like that, head over to YouTube, grab the link from there. I think the link should be accessible from there too, but just in case. We're waiting on intern to send it over. He'll be doing that shortly. And then once we have that, I'll be able to throw that up in here and just check back in Sunday or something. It'll be in here. 3 more games coming up. Power Rankings game obviously starts when the season begins, and that's for our top-tier patrons. Fantasy game also for our top-tier patrons. We're going to be doing the fantasy draft with Blake sometime closer to the season beginning. Hoping that next Wednesday, tentatively, we'll be able to get the prop bet game out. That also could be the fantasy game. We are just tentatively scheduling things right now. So next Wednesday night, there's a likelihood that we will be podcasting. We just don't know exactly what it'll be yet. So follow us on social media to find out. Become a patron, patreon.com/specialist. Gained a couple patrons off of the last video we did. Australian Survivor we did a Q&A. That was on Friday. We got Vanuatu going into Palau. We're talking about all these old Survivor seasons. We're going to have new school Survivor stuff. Australia, more than 5 episodes every single week during the season. There's really no place better to be if you're at the top tier. So Come on over. You can join the Discord. You can talk shit. Nick Snyder, he's a huge Ravens fan, so you can come in. He loves to talk about his Ravens. You can tell him how good they looked the other night, even though they actually did look good. But, he was heartbroken. That's a heartbreaking way to lose. But come on in, talk Survivor, Big Brother conversations going on in there. And then you can also participate in those 2 big fantasy games that also have prizes. So make sure to sign up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.